Okay, I think we're live now. Damn wind. It's very, very quiet Sunday afternoon where I'm at right now. And the library is closed. And that really disappointed me because I wanted to go to the library. I love going to libraries, but this talk is about alcohol specifically. And as per the usual, I'm going completely off the cuff here. I just got a great workout in my Airbnb, and that was very much needed. I can tell when I need to work out. I just get really anxious and I have all this excess energy, so it felt good to expel that and do a workout. But alcohol is a very interesting topic to discuss because, ooh, nice reverb. I like it. No wind too. I might just stay in here and walk around. It's one of the worst drugs to become addicted to, if not the worst. You're not gonna die from meth withdrawals, heroin withdrawals. It may feel like you're gonna die, but you won't die. But you can die from alcohol withdrawals. And I don't think a lot of people realize this. And alcoholism is genetic, but it also can be learned as well because of epigenetics, which are really fascinating. Epigenetics is this new science that basically reveals that your experiences in life, they change the expression of your genes. Bug flew into me. They change the expression of your genes, which is fascinating. I think that's just fascinating. And it does run in my family on both sides, actually. And it is something I have struggled with before, especially in college. And yeah, there was a time where I really struggled with it for a few months, and then I just went completely sober. And last year I was struggling with it, and this year I haven't drank once since January. When I was in Italy with my family, I drank, but other than that, I've only drank once since coming back to the States. And the withdrawal symptoms for alcohol are quite scary. I've read about them. People apparently see pink elephants. They think the monsters are coming to get them. And like I said, you can actually die from it. And severe alcoholics who want to beat their addiction, they can't do it by themselves, and they need the help of medical professionals. And I'm not Italian, Venus. I wish I was. No, I'm just kidding. I love Italy though. So they need the help of medical professionals. And there's certain types of drugs that that help with these withdrawal symptoms. But you know, it's interesting. It's not, and I'm just speaking for myself. Yeah, you should check out Italy, guys. great wine. Here I am talking about alcoholism, and I'm recommending people to go drink some Italian wine. It's kind of funny, but I don't imagine that I will ever not drink again. I think that's unrealistic, but it's certainly not on the agenda right now. All I'm interested right now is working, and it's not like cigarettes, because I quit smoking cigarettes this year actually, so that's good. I actually, maybe tomorrow I'll talk about it, cigarettes, because I mean, just speaking of my own experience, the urges for drinking went away after 3 or 4 days. So they were there for a couple days, but you know, it takes willpower. And again, it's pretty rare the person who needs medical professionals to help them get off alcohol. But they are out there, and it's up to that person to decide if they need that. It's basically lifelong alcoholics. They need medical professionals to help them, otherwise they will die from the withdrawals, like I said before. But to anyone who is struggling with alcohol, who may be watching this right now live or in the future, I think a message I want to share is this: winning here is a conscious decision. You have to decide in your mind what you want to do. Do you actually want to quit? Or are you just pretending to tell yourself that you want to quit? Within yourself, to not only realize you have a problem, but admit it to yourself and actually put in the steps, the actionable steps to get rid of that addiction. And you can't have this little defeatist attitude. And I have nothing I have nothing against alcohol or smoking. Yeah, that's another thing too. And let me go into that. Society, for whatever reason, fucking hair, has accepted alcohol as the most, it's the most socially acceptable drug besides coffee, right? I think coffee is the psychoactive drug that has the most, I know it is. It has the most users worldwide is coffee. But second to coffee is alcohol. And I definitely legal, otherwise we're gonna get, moonshiners and gangsters taking over. Similar to the drug war right now, the government's made worthless plants illegal and therefore more valuable than gold. But going back to alcohol, it's so prevalent, especially among universities and American universities. And this is a difference between America, the United States, and Europe. And I think Asia too. And that's that children are socialized to drink responsibly. And I don't really understand this 21-year-old age limit for drinking. Almost no one obeys it. And moreover, tying into my point, is American kids don't get socialized to responsibly drink like they do in Europe. For example, 14 is often drinking age. I believe that's in Germany. You can drink beer starting at 14. Wow, that's cool. It's a cool mural. And you have to wait till, I think, 18 or 17 to drink spirits. So from a young age, I mean, that's 8th grade, right? Or 9th grade, depending on when you were born, when the kid was born. You learn to have one beer with your meal, or maybe a glass of wine with your meal, and that's it. But in the United States, it's not like that. In the United States, kids can't drink until they're 21. So what happens? And I know this because I've seen it firsthand. At universities, they just go wild. It's like unleashing a beast from its cage, but it's a psychological beast. And similar to, I think I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about a few days ago, last week, when I was talking about cheat days. I think that psychological release is important, maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday, or just to maybe get some candy or a piece of cake or something. I think that's good. But in similar to alcohol, I think young people need that release, and just the experience of, oh, I know what that is like. I know what it's like to have one beer with a meal. I know what it's like to have a glass of wine or two with a meal, maybe. And in the United States, you don't have that. So you have these kids, they go to universities, these big universities, which sell this idea. They sell the image of partying, okay? Princeton Review ranked my school, the University of Wisconsin, as the #1 party school in the nation my senior year. And I helped throw some great parties. I'm not gonna front. I DJ'd some great parties. Actually, the best party I've ever been to was a party I DJ'd. If I want to put a feather in my own cap for a second. And again, I have nothing against partying or alcohol, but you have to wonder why it's so accepted. Take a look at alcohol in the context of this pandemic. Like, I tried to go to the library and it's closed, right? I can't go to the fucking library, but I can go and buy vodka and kill myself for $8. And, it's a simple thing to point out, and it's been pointed out before, but it makes you wonder, why is it so accepted? And I think it's because it sedates, get out of this wind here, it sedates the populace, and the government enjoys this, they like this, right? Imagine if there wasn't drugs and alcohol during this pandemic. I think there would be way more violence, especially from young men, which are usually the perpetrators. But it's used as a sort of sedative at a macro level in the population, And just going back to universities, you get these kids who don't know how to responsibly drink because their parents and society has told them that you can't have any alcohol till 21, which again, nobody fucking listens to. Sorry, I need to stop swearing so much. I get passionate about stuff like this. So they go to university and some of them kill themselves. They literally drink themselves to death. I've heard about kids when I was at school who had BACs of 0.34. Polynesian beer. I'll check that out. and 0.24 and 0.18, which is ridiculously, it's like borderline you're going to kill yourself. And some kids have killed themselves. And another, I think, taboo thing to talk about with regards to alcohol is this. And I mentioned this in a class in college one time. I just got kind of sick of not being able to speak my mind. And what I'm trying to say is this: alcohol is almost always present in murders and in rapes in one way or another. I'm going to say that again. Alcohol, I don't know the exact stats. Maybe I'll look them up later. I probably should do that. But there's almost always a party that is involved in murder and rapes that is drunk. And nobody wants to talk about this. It feels like to many people that you're blaming the victim. And that's not what I'm trying to do at all. The victim is the victim, and the perpetrator is the perpetrator, and there's no doubt about that. But you have to be a responsible person and not put yourself in situations that could turn south very quickly. If anybody saw my Shrimp Zoo interview earlier today, I mentioned when I was in Minneapolis last year. Okay, dude. And literally in the same block area, same area that I was in when I was on my way to the airport from the metro, I remember I was very uncomfortable, and there were gangsters around. I left, and literally a week later in the same spot, some white guy got just beat up by some gang members because he was there at like 4 a.m. trying to like befriend gang members. I don't really know what he was on about, but like that right there, he's a victim, no doubt. But that was very foolish to go to a corner at 4 a.m., in a really big city where it's known that there are gangs and it's known that it's violence. You shouldn't be putting yourselves in these types of situations. And regardless of where you are, if you're drinking, you're losing a degree of control over yourself, whether you like to admit it or not. And some people, yeah, that's a good phrase. Not much good goes on after 1 a.m. And this is something that I had to learn the hard way, right? Getting sucker punched and, other stuff as far as, just what I've observed as well. And because it's genetic, some people just can't handle it. There's this guy I follow on Twitter who puts out really great content. I highly recommend people go check him out. A black gentleman named Ed Lattimore, and he used to be an alcoholic as well. Well, I don't know if as well. I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic so much as I did have a short bout with it. So maybe I was a part-time alcoholic. But he, I think, struggled with it for years, many years throughout his 20s. And just reading about his experience has really helped me to, think more deeply about the consequences of drinking. Because you do lose control no matter how much you drink. And you definitely lose all control when you get drunk. So people should go check him out, Ed Lattimore. He writes about this, and he definitely has more experience with this than I do. I think he's in his 30s, but like I said, he struggled with it for years in his 20s. And there's also the social pressure to drink as well when you're especially for young people. whether it's at high school or university, and I definitely felt this too, is socially pressured to drink, which you think I wouldn't, but you know, wanting to be a part of a group is a very strong. It's necessary for you know, it's part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, belonging. It's actually on the bottom of the pyramid. I think it's in the bottom. No, excuse me, it's the second one. The bottom is bodily functions, bodily needs. So anybody listening, I just wanted to talk about that. That's pretty much all I have to say, but I want to repeat what I said earlier. Winning here is a conscious decision. You have to decide in your mind if you want to beat this, or you can leave and just be a defeatist your whole life. Which is it going to be? And some people need this talking to. And I'm not trying to condescend at all, because I'm thinking about this as talking to myself too. So I'm gonna put when I get back to the crib, I'll put the link to Ed's he wrote a blog post about it. I'll put it in the description box below. Thanks for tuning in. All the best. Cheers. May the force be with you. Until next time, people.